Yeah,
This is more interesting when
Oh, it is. It is. Well, that's why I was trying to move a little bit. Yeah, that's why I was trying to move a bit. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Okay,
we are at the Redford Moose. I play a little gig here, a little open mic gig every Thursday, right outside of Detroit, Michigan, 5 mile west of Telegraph. So that's kind of the hallway we're in for your listeners to see.
Right. This is the Moose, and you can see even people. There's real people playing real pool back there. Real bartender.
We're question number 4.
Okay, question number 3. Okay.
Oh, no, this got to be 4.
We don't have to finish it all today. All right. Question number 3. Okay, question number 4. Okay, question number 4. What was question number 3? Anyways, let's.
About my dad. We talked about my dad.
Right. That was question number 2. Okay. About your band itself, actually nationwide, Benny and the Jets. I mean, it has to be one of the most well-known bands, as far as being, like, say, a local band that.
I used to tell people we were the most famous unknown band in the world.
Exactly. That's what I was looking for.
We were, we did a couple albums in the '70s, and we traveled the country, and we were lucky enough to travel with Chuck Berry and Freddie Cannon and Bo Diddley and some of the great names of rock and roll. And
you actually opened for Bo Diddley, right? Or you traveled?
We were his backup band.
You were his backup band.
He would come to town and need a pickup band, and we went from Seattle to Miami to Montreal to Las Vegas and back again, touring with Bo Diddley.
I mean, Bo Diddley's like a forerunner of rock and roll. I mean, he like basically Buddy Holly picked up stuff from Bo Diddley,
music.
Unquestionable.
And then we got real involved in the Autorama circuit. Autorama would be in every town, so we played the King Dome, the Silver Dome, the Super Dome, all the big domes.
That's how he became nationally known, because Benny and the Jets played this national touring auto.
50,000, 80,000, 100,000 people. And you'd go to town and there'd be a big billboard that'd say Benny and the Jets, and you'd hear advertisements on the radio. So even people that weren't actually seeing us in concert at these Autoramas would have 100,000 people would have a ticket on their, with Benny and the Jets on their ticket. So we would always get a lot of talk on that. So that's kind of a real nationally known, the most famous unknown, nationally known band. Any more of that, we would have been famous.
Okay, all right, here's question number 4. 5, okay. What songs do you get sick of playing? Do you get sick of playing different songs? I mean, you hate the most, you just can't stand that people want? Or
Never get sick.
Never get sick. You just love playing no matter,
It's funny you should mention that. We're kind of in the middle of something. We're kind of in the middle of something, Ron.
That's okay. It's normal.
It's funny you should mention that. I was out with Question Mark from Question Mark and the Mysterians.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone magazine.
Is that 96 Tears?
Yeah. 1966, 50 years ago, they had a song, 96 Tears. Rolling Stone magazine asked him, he said, do you ever get tired of playing 96 Tears? Because everywhere he goes, he has to play it over and over. And he says, no, he doesn't get tired of it. He's happy to have the audience, the love that goes back and forth in the song.
Yeah.
But he says, why don't you ask Benny? He says, Benny plays the song more than I do. Because I play it 2, 3, 4, 5 nights a week, while he plays once or twice a month maybe in concerts like that. So when you find a song, all songs you find, they touch you in certain ways, so you don't get tired of them, I don't think. And if you do, you rotate them in and out of the schedule. But it's a lot like a musical.
You got control, really. I mean, if someone requests, you don't have to play it.
And it's a lot like a musical. Every night, it's like a baseball batter. Does he ever get tired of going up to bat? Because every at-bat's special, and every at-bat's fun, and every time you hit the home run, it feels good, regardless of how many home runs you've hit in your career.
Okay, I guess the flip side of that question, which would be question number 5 now, or 6, or however you're counting. Anyways, that's 5. Okay, 5, 6. Okay, 6. Okay. What would be your favorite song to play, or do you have like a list of, say, like 5 or 10 songs that you personally think are your best songs of all time, whether written or like to play them? I guess
and those kind of grow and change as well.
Right,
sometimes,
of course.
Sometimes it's always the song that's clicking best with the audience. So depending where you're at, if you're at a quieter place, you're a louder place, you're at faster, slower, depending on the night, certain songs will click, and that song will become your song, so to speak.
So it's
on the first Benny and the Jet album, we did a version of Roll Over Beethoven. And we liked it so much, we redid it on our second album, which was a live record, our second album. Third album became kind of a greatest hit, so we molded it in. So Roll Over Beethoven really followed us.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that song just just felt good when you strummed it on the guitar.
I heard you play it, and it kind of reminds me of one of Little Richard's songs. Do you see any tie-in between
Sure.
Roll Over? But yeah, I mean, Chuck Berry wrote that, bro. Yeah.
Benny and the Jets were hugely influenced by Little Richard. There's always a certain artist that clicks for certain people. When I was a youngster, when you talked about early days of rock and roll, youngster, I took one of those songbooks, 101 songs that you could play, and I took it down to Florida with me on vacation. I strummed the guitar, and I said, these Little Richard songs kind of work for me. They're kind of fun, and they were just they kind of clicked. Interestingly, at the same time, Freddie Boom Boom Cannon, another one of those guys we toured with. He had a song called Palisades Park. And here I was, a little kid, learned that song in the book, and then 20 years later, ended up touring and playing with Freddie Cannon. Look at the little book and find out who Bo Diddley is. And 20 years later, being friends with Bo Diddley and traveling the world and learning rock and roll from Bo Diddley.
It's amazing stuff. Sounds like you had an amazing life, amazing life. Yeah, I think it's about 6. Yeah, we only got a couple left. We got a couple of, okay, all right, let's skip to question 9. It was like, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Discuss. You want to save this for?
No, that was huge. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll was huge for bands. We grew up in the 1970s.
Yeah,
we were rock stars. We were tall, good-looking rock stars, playing and touring and traveling the world, and it was really. I think really there for the taking. I'm going to turn you all the way around this so we keep those views going.
Yeah, good idea.
We can take these walks.
Well, just like Benny's directing as we go.
Just go for a walk.
I know, yeah. Well, we can get your guitar. I thought you had your guitar in your hand. Sex, drugs. I know you're talking. Oh.
It really seems like when people talk about rock and roll, they really end up hearing a lot of that sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Interestingly, me personally, I was kind of from the Ted Nugent school of no drugs. I never smoked, I never drank, I never got crazy, but sex and rock and roll, we did a lot of that part.
Yeah, I think I heard something about a bed party. You want to tell me about? I mean, it's question 9A is a bed party, or was that part of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or that was just something you?
There's a Guinness Book of World Records, and a friend of ours was organizing the most people in one bed, and I think he volunteered me to be one of the people in the bed. So somewhere you could look up a Guinness book. And I didn't have a beard then; I was a youngster. I had to fit them all in one bed.
You were in the bed.
Yeah.
Are you still? Is it still hold, or do you know?
I think it does.
Wow.
It's a great story. And with bands and rock and roll, touring and traveling, we got some great stories where we traveled with Hugh Hefner's Playboy Bunnies. They would have all 12 bunnies tour the auto shows, and then and have this band touring the auto shows, and the bunnies would say, "Hey Benny, what are you doing after the show?" And we would
man.
And the fun thing about it is it worked so good because we didn't treat the bunnies as anything special. They were girls working with us, and they didn't want to be treated that special. They wanted to be regular people. And that's really the same with Bo Diddley and Eddie Money and Mitch Ryder and all the guys, Ted Nugent. They just want to be one of the guys.
Look at Michael Jackson. He wanted to dress up for Halloween. He'd love to go out for Halloween, but you imagine going out if you didn't, just the experience.
That's right.
Normal life.
Normal life. And some of those guys, Elvis's and Prince and Michael Jackson's, they lose that. They
never got the chance. I mean, look at
very sad.
And look at the tragic ending of both Elvis and Michael Jackson.
I see a cool sign.
Let's see. So.
Please wait to be seated.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to think of what the other question. I have them. You want to pause for a second and see what we got?